Moi, j'ai pas vraiment de questions, mais la seule chose que je veux dire, c'est que, tout ce que j'ai entendu aujourd'hui, ça m'a donné beaucoup de force et moi, je veux simplement remercier le Décolonial Café et tous les panélistes qui sont là parce que, on en a besoin surtout dans cette période de covid. On a besoin de force, on a besoin de s'entendre, se rencontrer malgré, les distances donc c'est pas vraiment une question que j'ai et voilà, je salue, PJ et Joao parce que c'est super fort ce que j'ai entendu et j'ai beaucoup appris donc merci. C'est pas vraiment une question.
Okay, I'm going to translate it. Dawood is saying, I don't have a question, but what I've heard today gave me a lot of strength, a lot of force. And I want to again thank the Decolonial Cafe, and I want to thank Zhao and PJ for that. It's especially important during this time of COVID to have this force.
Thank you so much, Dawood. PJ, Joao, did you want to have a final thought before we adjourn for a short break?
Or if you have questions for each other or comments about each other's work.
I would say like Dawood, I want to thank everyone who participated. I just had the last minutes of the panel preceding this one. So I'm really happy that I've heard that too. And I want to thank PJ and Dawood for their contribution. And maybe my last word would be that I did not have time to engage in this, but what I want to say is that the example of alternative mode of non-heterosexual beings that I explained, they are now in some way in, not so much in tension, but in addition to them, there are new forms of sexual, identification, mostly around LGBT and queers. And that is not only, but also linked to question of tourism. So I think that we need to pay attention to how these things will unfold without falling to the trap of calling people westernized and all of that, because I don't think that this exists to be westernized or to be whitened. I think that everything that emerged somewhere is because it kind of speaks to some of the people there. So I think it will be one of the most difficult tasks, how to be critical about why, and instead of trying to see what identities are good, bad, westernized or not, understand how they emerge and speak to each other. So that will be my last point. And again, I want to thank PJ and Dawood for their piece, PJ in particular for bringing the question of indigeneity, and also because this is a question that it's also present in the Caribbean, but with a lot of erasure. So your piece give me, reminding me that I need to think about the question of Caribbean indigeneity. And also Dawood, we share a lot of adventure, and so thank you for explaining this for everyone today.
If I may say something, is also like a big thank you, un gracias enorme to all of the panelists, the speakers in the panel prior to this one, and Joao and Dawood. And I may say that one takeaway significant of the many that were part of the conversation is that there is some type of work that we are doing. Hold on a second, please. I'm so sorry. There was some background noise. So the one, some of the work that we are doing is in the affinities, the Afro-indigeneity, the indigeneity, the Afro-Caribbean, Afro-feminist thought in a very, thinking about those connections that are connections of solidarity, connections also about epistemologies, and something that maybe the late Maria Lugones used to call epistemic coalition. So the one thing that is interesting is about the work that we are doing about provincializing both the systems of knowing, provincializing them, but yet at the same time, finding ways to move toward how to theorize those connections. And in what I have brought today, one of the moves that is not as foregrounded because of how short it is the decolonial response to the post-human. So, and the post-humanist materialism that is not co-opted by a type of certain orthodoxies of the feminist posthumanism in Elizabeth Gross's work, in Rosi Braidotti's work. So it's in responding to that type of materialism that, at least in what I have brought to the conversation today, I see how to then, maybe the question about emergencies, how they emerge, as Joao said, is right. I mean, in all of these formations, you know, travesti formations, hijra formations, and naive formations, wide up formations, how those materialisms emerge in response to what interlocking systems of white supremacy, interlocking systems of casteism, interlocking systems of differentiated and yet compounded racial projects. So including those racial projects that are very much alive among our queer friends, among our feminist friends, among our LGBT friends, among our sometimes critical race theory friends. So I think that's part of also of how to, you know, go into the provincialization and then think about how these emergencies respond to these different intellectual projects. So thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And thank you to the three speakers and to the speakers in the other half of the previous half of the panel. Thank you, everyone.